Hello, this is everything you're going to need to put a tune on your motorcycle using TuneECU. First thing you're going to need is a compatible motorcycle. I have a 2014 Triumph Bonneville, and I'm going to be flashing the Aero tune to pair with my Tech exhaust. The next thing you're going to need is an Android device. They used to have a Windows app, but that is no longer supported by the developer. I didn't have any up-to-date Android devices, so I took that as a sign to just get the cheapest name brand tablet I could find. This is a Lenovo Tab 1, and it cost me $90 US at the time of filming. I'll put the link in the description because this got the job done just fine. Next thing you're going to need is one of these. This is an OBD2 cable that allows you to talk to a variety of different European makes and models like Audi, Skoda, Fiat, and the like. Before I forget, you will need an adapter because that has USB-A and that has a USB-C input. I ended up just using one of the random Apple ones I had in my house. That was an HDMI, USB-C, and USB-A on one side, and then it has a USB-C to go into the device. Worked just fine. Finally, you're going to need a copy of TuneECU installed and also a license, which we'll go over in this next section. First and foremost, we're going to need to install TuneECU. You can grab this file from the developer's website, which I'll link in the description, and you might get a little warning, but if you say allow, the app will install itself onto your device. The next step is making sure that your tablet can communicate with your ECU. So plug everything in. For me, my OBD2 port is right under the seat, and then I'm going to plug that into my tablet, and I should start getting a live reading of data. I should be able to see the ECU information and even the current tune that it's running. Once we've confirmed that the tablet and the computer can talk to each other, we can go ahead and register the app. Without registering it, you can only read live data and read codes. I don't even know if you can clear them. To register this app, you need to send the developer 25 euros, which at the time of filming is $30 US and some change. You can do this through two ways. Number one is through the app. There is a built-in register system where you can use PayPal and you'll sign in, you'll send the money that way. For me, it ended up glitching out every time I tried. It would get stuck in some weird constant loop. So I opted for the second method, which is just to manually send him the money through PayPal. There's actually an error that says it didn't work. Please send the money to this email address. I know it seems sketchy because it is literally just a Gmail address, but after I sent it, I sent another follow-up email saying, hey, I sent you the money manually since it kept crashing in the app. And within the hour, I actually got a message from PayPal saying, hey, your item has been shipped. I took that as a sign saying that my license has been doled out, and lo and behold, you can say check for license or something of that nature, and then it actually came through. I now have a fully licensed version of TuneECU for 5 bikes over 1 year. So now that we have a fully registered app, we can now proceed with flashing a tune onto the motorcycle. For this part, you're gonna swipe to the throttle position table, and if you click map, you'll be able to open a file. You can either browse for it or you can just click download. And this is gonna take us to different makes, which for me, I'll say Triumph, I have a Bonneville, and then you get to see all the different maps. They are hex files, and you can see what each one is using the guide on their website. For me, I know I need the 20504, and this shows me Aero 2-1, LCD odometer, fuel up to E10, minimum 91 RON, and I can say download. It quickly downloads it, and you can see all of the values in here. So now that we have the correct tune loaded, we can now go to ECU and say reprogram. It's going to spoon feed you the exact procedure that you need to do, but I'll repeat it here. You just need to unplug your headlight fuse. It's a 10 amp fuse that's hidden, for me, under the right side cover. And you're also going to want to make sure that your battery tender is plugged in. This is a pretty sensitive process, and you don't want to brick your ECU at this point because of a dying battery or a tablet that went kaput. So just make sure you follow the instructions, unplug the headlight fuse, make sure that your devices are charged and your battery's good. At this point, all we need to do is wait for the tune to finish reprogramming. This took less than 10 minutes. I think the highest I saw was 9 minutes. It shows you a progress meter and it shows you how much time is remaining, which I love those features, especially when they're accurate. In this case, it was. Once the tune finishes, you're gonna see a sign saying that it's done and that you can turn off the ignition, replace the headlight fuse, and start it up. And if you did everything right, everything should come to life. The final thing that we need to do after getting the tune on there is reset adjustment parameters. Modern vehicles are able to make adjustments based on the health of the motor or the riding and driving style. This brings it back to 0 and allows it to relearn with the fresh tune. I would imagine that it would have done that if you flashed a fresh tune on there, but... So how does the tune feel? Feels good. You know, it solved my issue of the popping on deceleration. It's got nice and smooth power delivery, but I've only put 10 or so odd miles on it, so no complaints thus far. I hope this helps somebody out there. This is just meant to be a high-level overview breaking down what you need and how to do the procedure. not going super in-depth on any of this stuff. So hopefully this helps you, and yeah, ride safe, everybody.